On March 29, 2019, Hong Kong announced the extradition bill, which raised concern among Hong Kong citizens. In response, a series of protests were organized against the bill. No leader, no identity, no background. This was the theme of the Hong Kong protest movement in 2019, which was organized through social media. Protesters from all parts of Hong Kong gathered to fight for their democratic rights by organizing movements. The protests started online using social media platforms such as Telegram, LIHKG, Instagram, and Facebook before they took to the streets. What upsets the people? The extradition bill allows China and Taiwan to request the transfer of prisoners from Hong Kong to their countries. That spread fear among Hong Kong citizens due to the different jurisdiction systems among the countries, especially between Hong Kong and China. They were afraid that under the current Chinese jurisdiction system, prisoners might not be fairly treated. Under the strong surveillance in China, people fear that the strong censorship, social credit score, and system posed by the Chinese government to maintain control of residents would also be extended to Hong Kong. The concern rose especially when the Chinese government tried to ratify the extradition bill in 2019. As most citizens were against the bill and wanted its removal, they took to the streets to have their voices heard. At first, people expressed their voice peacefully via demonstrations, but the government did not change its decision to ratify the bill. As time passed, the government tried to silence the protesters using rubber bullets, tear gas, water cannon, and etc. This heightened the severe conflicts between the public and the authority. With the strong stance of the Hong Kong government, protesters needed to seek more vigorous way for the movement, but at the same time stay anonymous under the fear towards the government, or specifically the Chinese Communist Party. As such, online channels with the possibility of concealing one's identity became a perfect match for organizing various protests. Telegram played an essential role in the movement with different social platforms due to its more anonymous features. The Hong Kong protests require a mature digital infrastructure to maintain anonymity, where different platforms interacted with each other and had a possibility of dynamic integration. Therefore, besides Telegram, LIHKG, another encrypted app, was widely used throughout the movement. LIHKG is a local online platform acting as a forum. They include a function called Hot Topics, where netizens can vote for and filter ideas. These screened ideas are then taken into Telegram, and then brought to life by the Telegram groups. Anti-extradition Telegram groups have a range of users. Some have only a dozen, while others have more than 60,000 users. The most important feature of these groups is that no one is defined as the leader. Freedom Hong Kong, a Telegram group, is a typical example. Among the dozen or so members, some took responsibility for negotiating on behalf of the group, while others took care of the liaison work. But none of them were in charge of managing the group. This movement is a leaderless, connective action. There are also different levels of channels. Some were for sending messages one way, including instant news information and promotional materials. Others were for receiving messages from everyone, which would then be released to the protesters in the streets. Some others were for planning campaigns, so it allowed discussion in the group. The most powerful group function of Telegram is promoting the discussion of strategies of protests. With the largest accommodating more than 60,000 users on Telegram, thousands of people could first discuss in groups, and then the admin of the group would announce the consensus to the public. Next, they would call on the masses to participate and support on other social platforms. To raise awareness for the protest movement, people posted visuals taken from the Telegram group on their social media accounts on Instagram and Facebook. Those two platforms were mostly used to raise awareness of the protest rather than organize it. With the help of the online platforms, such a long-lasting, leaderless movement has raised attention across the globe. People were surprised by the number of people who had come out against the bill. The largest demonstration had more than 2 million people, which was 1/4 of the Hong Kong population. The bill was eventually withdrawn with pressure from the local society and the international community during the movement. However, in January 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic gave the government an excuse to limit citizens' gathering, leaving some requests of the protesters unsolved. Social media is not only a platform to share our lives, but it's also a channel to gather people with same values. It also provides the opportunity to organize protests. Hong Kong people proved that it is possible to organize a large movement on social media without any one person or group taking leadership. With the ease of sharing information, all of us can do something powerful. Changes might start with one post, one picture, or even one simple message. And when these little drops of water gather, they make the mighty ocean.